Prices are going to keep going up. Stock up now. Don't short the food market. Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Ladies and gentlemen, I just left Prepper Nation's live stream this morning. John over there at Prepper Nation. If you're not subscribed, go check him out. All right, he has a live stream. I think he's doing it every morning now around 5 a.m. Alaska time, which is almost just right for me. I usually catch the back end of it. But anyways, so he was talking about how us prepper channels often continue to say the same thing over again. And I've mentioned this before, where I talk about food prices are going up, and then a week later food prices are going up, and then I went ahead and left a comment on there, and I said that some things are worth repeating over and over and over again, especially things that have to do with your freedom. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to understand that food equals freedom. You being able to have a stockpile or a method in which you can continuously get food to feed your family. And not only food, but all those other things that you need in order so that you can continue to live free. Meaning this is a point that I want to put across, is that if you don't have to ask someone for something that you need in order to survive, you are that much more free. Ask yourselves, if you go to a 9-to-5, do you consider yourselves free? Many people would say no, because they need to go to that 9-to-5, right? And I'm not passing judgment on anyone that has a job, anyone that has to go to work, anyone that's in debt. Not about that at all. The point I'm trying to make is this. A lot of people that go to a job, to a 9-to-5, where they have to punch in every day, where they have to ask their boss, hey, can I take 2 weeks vacation? Right? Because people that work, a 9-to-5 or work a regular job and don't work for themselves, they normally have to ask someone that's higher than them, hey, can I take some time off? Even though you've earned that time off, you still have to ask permission, right? So, can you just do whatever you want if you have a 9-to-5? No, you can't, because you need that 9-to-5. So you have someone over you that in a way has control over your sovereignty, over your freedom. Maybe not full control, because you can always quit that job and go get another job, but they still have some control over your freedom. Now go ahead and, in place of the job, put food. Right? What if something happened where you can't just go to the grocery store and get food, and you had to ask someone every time that you ran out of food, can I have a loaf of bread for my family? Can I have that can of chicken for my family? You see how everything changes, ladies and gentlemen, when we take food and replace it with the job? How much more serious it becomes, because if you're working and you have the ability to leave that job for a better job or a different job that you maybe like better, that's your freedom, right? You have the freedom to do that. But when you put food in the place of that, something that you and your family need to survive, if you're always having to ask someone for that sustenance that will provide you the calorie and nutrition that you need and that your family needs, it's a lot more different. It's about control. So the question is this: do you want to have control over your life should something happen that is systemic of nature and food is no longer as available or as inexpensive as it is now? Because although the price of food, like we're going to talk about here in a second, is going up, it is still available. And you still have the option to take on that second job, to stock up, to avert the day that may come when you have to ask someone for food and in turn give up your liberty for that loaf of bread. Now I have a very, very important message. I'm going to go, this is a very short article. I'm going to show you a couple other that are very short, and I have a very important message at the end that will bring this all together right? It'll bring this all together and allow you to realize, yeah, I really do need to stock it up to the rafters. I really do need to get on track with making sure that my family has the sustenance that they would require for an extended period of outages. Not only of food, but look at California. California is now asking the federal government to go ahead and use fossil fuels to provide them extra electricity because they're having to go through blackouts and brownouts and all that kind of stuff. All right, I haven't really gone too much into depth into reading that article that I found, but California is struggling. So now they are taking alternate measures in order to get the things that they need. And here it says that U.S. producer prices soar at record pace in August, up 9 months in a row. The question is this, ladies and gentlemen, do you think that that's going to continue to go up? Or do you think that it's going to go down? When you see that the government is making the same mistakes that it made in the past, that produce the same results that it's producing now, do you think that they're going to continue to make those same mistakes? Or that they're all of a sudden going to do a 180 and say, hey, wait a minute, what we've been doing for the last several years is wrong. Let's go ahead and change that so that it can be right and we can fix the problem. They're not going to fix the problem. They are the problem. So why would they fix it when they think that they're right? See, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of these people in government, they literally believe what they say. They literally believe it with their hearts, what they say, even though it hasn't worked ever. So food prices are going to continue to go up. And I want to go ahead and go over this article with you really quick that shows you 4 reasons why food prices have gone up. And after that, I want to give you a very simple, but in my opinion, very powerful message. 4 facts about soaring consumer prices. Number 1, food price inflation started increasing prior to this health crisis. And we all know that, ladies and gentlemen. If you've been in the know, if you've been following this channel here or any other prepper channel or just basic economics channels, you'll know that prices were already going up prior to this health crisis. The increase in consumer food price inflation predates this health crisis. In the summer of 2018, China was hit by an outbreak of the African swine fever. Remember that? Wiping out much of China's hog herd, which represents more than 50% of the world's hogs. This sent pork prices in China to all-time highs by mid-2019, creating a ripple effect on the prices of pork and other animal proteins in many regions around the world. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'll bring this up again because I remember talking about this a couple of years ago, and I remember someone asking me in the comments, what does it matter to us? That's happening in China. Well, China consumes a lot of natural resources, and a lot of those natural resources that China consumes comes as imports from other parts of the world. So whenever there is pressure on something in China, i.e. pork, well, they're going to try to find that pork that they are now missing in that country of 1.4, 1.5 billion people. They're now going to try to resource it from somewhere else in the world. And when there is more demand for something, usually the price goes up because demand in this case outweighed production. So the prices went up for everyone around the world when it comes to pork. Same thing with beef, right? Same thing with beef, same thing with chicken. It's the same thing with anything. So it's very important that we look at what's happening in other parts of the world and don't just keep ourselves in a really small space as to the space that's just around us. So here it says, fact number 2, early lockdown measures and supply chain disruptions induced a spike in consumer food prices. So it goes on to say, at the start of this health crisis, food supply chain disruptions, a shift from food services such as dining out towards retail stores or retail grocery stores because more people were buying from the supermarkets now instead of going to restaurants, and consumer stockpiling coupled with a sharp appreciation of the US dollar pushed up consumer food price indices in many countries. But ladies and gentlemen, we all knew that food prices were going to continue to go up. continue to go up. Two reasons. One reason for the U.S. is because they're printing so many dollars, right? Number one. And because of the measures that the government was taking towards this health crisis. And number two, for countries outside of the U.S., whenever the dollar becomes stronger, it costs them more to live. All right? Dominican Republic's dollar or their peso is, based on the U.S. dollar. So if the U.S. dollar goes up in value, if the Dixie goes up in value, the Dominican Republic peso, it takes more of them to purchase one U.S. dollar. And right now I think it sits around 54 or so, 50 pesos to $1. So the higher that the dollar gets, the more that it costs for people in the Dominican Republic to buy food. That's as simple as I can explain it. Here's the third one, ladies and gentlemen, soaring shipping and transport costs. Now remember, here after the fourth reason, I'm going to tell you what the true message is because it's so important. And I had to go through all of this for you to be able to understand where I'm coming from when I tell you this. Soaring shipping and transport costs. So we all know that shipping and transport costs has gone parabolic as far as how much a shipping container costs to come from across the pond, from wherever it's coming, either China or somewhere else. I believe that a 20-foot or 40-foot shipping container used to cost like $2,000 or $2,500 to ship product across the ocean. Now it's like 10 times more. Now it's like $25,000. Well, ladies and gentlemen, of course, it's the end consumer that's going to pay that. And that's going to continue to affect the price of food and the price of everything that we need. And number four, global food producer prices have rallied, reaching multi-year highs. Right? So all of the reasons that we talked about here in the previous few minutes, they're all culminating and food producers are having to absorb those costs. And like I said, they're going to pass it on to you. They are not going to take that hit. So ladies and gentlemen, ask yourselves a question. Do you see things getting any better? Do you see them getting any better? Honestly, ask yourself that question. Do you see things getting any better than what they are right now? And do you think that food prices and the price of any other stuff is going to go down? Some things may go down a little bit. But fundamentally, when you take a look at just one thing, all you have to do is look at one thing. When you look at the US dollar and you see how much of it they're printing, do you think that price of things are going to go down and stay down? Or do you think that they're going to continually go up, either at a slow or rapid pace? Alright, so after going through all of this, let me ask you this question as far as food prices going up. What does it really matter? Why? Why does it matter why food prices are going up? Like I stated previously, when you have a government that continues to make the same mistakes that it's made in the past, and I'm not just talking about the government here in the US, I should have said governments. When you have governments that are making the same mistakes that they've made in the past, and they are themselves convinced that what they are doing is right, does it really matter why food prices are going up? Or what really matters is that they are going up and that they're going to continue to go up. And when I say food, in a way I mean everything. Go ahead and grab something that you bought a year and a half ago when this all started, or 2 years ago, and go re-buy that same thing. I bought a pair of shoes. I don't know about, and I showed it on one of my payday preps. I don't know, about 6 months to a year ago or something like that. It's a pair of cheap shoes, Skechers, which are very comfortable, by the way. I paid like $37 or something like that for them. I don't know, 6 months to a year ago, let's say. They're so comfortable, ladies and gentlemen, that I decided to buy the exact same pair I have on again so that I can put it away, so that when the ones that I have now go bad, I can have that pair already and I don't have to worry about having to make a trip to the store. I already have it, right? Ladies and gentlemen, I remember paying, I think it was less than $40 for those shoes. $40, $45. Now they were $67. Right? And these are cheap shoes. All right? I don't believe in buying the $300 tennis shoes. Right? These are just cheap shoes that I can put on. If I get a tear in them, I don't care. If the dog eats it up, I don't care. It's a cheap pair of shoes that are comfortable, they fit me good, and if something happens to them, I can throw them away and not really have to worry about it. But I just purchased another pair. I think it was like $67 or $69. So about $20 plus more, roughly 50% more than what I paid for them last time. But in the end, does it really matter why those shoes went up in price? No, all that matters is that they did. And all that matters is that I believe that in another year they're going to be more than $69. So that's why I bought an extra pair now. Same thing with food, and same thing with any kind of sustenance or things that you need in order to maintain your standard of living and maintain your freedom. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is why it's important to continue to tell people prices are going to keep going up. Stock up now. Don't short the food market. Get those things that you need now, because they are not going to be as available to you or I in the future. Having said that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining in today. We hope to see you this afternoon during our live stream at 2 p.m. Alaska time, 6 p.m. Eastern time. So hope you have a good Friday today. Happy Friday. Remember to be good to each other. When good people do good things happen. Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place, and you know that it will be a better place. Many blessings to all of you and your families. I'm Alaska Prepper, and I'm out.